Hello, my name is Brian Rowe, and I'm talking to you today about Ingress, Geolocation Gaming, MMORPGs, Terms of Service, and Privacy Rights. I have no idea how I'm going to fit this into 5 minutes, but I will try very, very hard because that's all they gave me. Now, before I really jump in, my legal background requires me to give you a disclaimer, but I don't believe in disclaimers. I believe that there is no neutral on a moving train. We get to set the policies for privacy now, so I'm not going to pretend to be neutral. I'm going to tell you the way that I think things should be. Now, during my undergrad and maybe even my law school, I might have spent a lot of time studying and some time playing games. That's where I learned how to packet sniff. And I tried to give those things up after I started practicing law. I was very dedicated. I could make it from my apartment downtown all the way to my work in about 7.5 minutes. Considering Google told me it takes about 11 or 12 minutes, I thought that was a pretty good thing. And then something happened. EverQuest met Foursquare, and it's called Ingress. It's geolocation gaming built into your phone. You divide up into two different factions, and you try to control different important parts of the city. And when I say important, these are things like the troll under the bridge in Fremont. If you haven't been there, giant troll, they perform Shakespeare in front of this troll during the summer. Great location, it's part of the game, you can control it. There's other landmarks throughout the city. There's an entire wall down at Pike Place where gum is placed on that wall. This is a little bit of a zoom in. This wall goes on and on. A lot of biometric data there. I'm sure you could get some nice prints out of people's teeth. This wall is gigantic. Also, this is about 3 blocks from where I work. I work in the middle of downtown. There's a waterfall in downtown. I must have passed this thing a few hundred times on the way to work. I didn't even know it was there until I got into this game, and I noticed that there was a waterfall marked. So now my commute to work might take 24.5 minutes, and I wander through the International District where there's some wonderful Japanese statues, but I'm leveling up in Ingress, and it's fun, and now I know where over 74 pieces of artwork are throughout the city. Now, as a legal person, I thought, how are they dealing with this artwork? And first, I'm a copyright person, so all of these things are copyrighted, but there's a safe harbor in the DMCA, and we're here talking about privacy, so I'll leave the copyright stuff aside. When looking at privacy, the first thing I looked at is the terms of use. Now, I know that nobody ever reads them, and I really don't have a third of my life to read all of those terms. But I took the time to sit back, breathe, read through the privacy policy for Ingress. It took a little while. It's a Google product, so it says they use their general Google privacy policy. So you read through all of the general Google privacy policy. Within that, there's supposed to be some access to information or data. I eventually found Ingress, and because it's a mobile app, it really doesn't apply to the rest of their privacy policy. You can uninstall it, but there was no access to the underlying data that was available. I don't know exactly who has access to this underlying data, but I clearly don't have access to that data. I would like to have access to that data. Now, I know there's some individuals here that might put forward some solutions on what we should do with regards to this data, but I'm not one of those individuals. I would much rather have a practical set of tools for how to deal with this data. I like my black hat. I don't look good in tinfoil. So I've got 4 suggestions here for what we should do with regard to that data. First thing, we need to open the curtain up and allow individuals to see what data their mobile games are collecting, so they can see what's behind the curtain, look at the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and give individuals a right to view that data directly. Next, I need to be able to take that data and move it to another game. The Sculpture Park, which is a few blocks from here, if there's a game that allows me to tag pieces of artwork and compete with my friends in order to see great artwork throughout the world, I would like to be able to take that data from Ingress. The other thing is, I'd like to be able to directly delete all of that data. And when I say delete, I don't mean just removing the link so that I can't see it. I would like the company itself to actually proactively remove that link, at least as it's technologically able to. And finally, I would like control. If I decide to spend an extra 30 minutes on my lunch at a particular waterfall, I would prefer not to have that logged in some proactive way. I would like to granularly control that data. Thanks. My name is Brian Rowe. I run Digital Rights Northwest, and I would love to hear your opinions on how we can take back data with regards to geolocation gaming.